Peace, everybody. I'm back. I'm back. I had to put my phone on the charger. I didn't realize that my phone had died on me. Um, that I was on low battery, so I came back to do it again. And what we're talking about this morning, early this morning, is why your love work doesn't work. Now, in the first video that I did before I was interrupted with no battery life, um, first video we actually was speaking about manifesting love work through self-love, through initiating the love from within our own selves and experiencing that love within our own selves and using that to project towards manifesting our goal of love in our relationship. A lot of times our relationship work, love work doesn't work because we're not emitting and projecting the correct energy out of our own selves in the universe so that the root worker can grab that energy and use that energy to bring back somebody in your life. One of the reasons, and I'm gonna go back and state that one of the main reasons love work don't work is because the clients themselves often have insecurity issues within themselves, trust issues within themselves, and also have issues of character defects that contributed to the breaking up of the relationship. Now, self-reflection and accountability is very important when we look at attempting to bring back someone. We have to learn how to be accountable for what we did, for how we contributed to the destruction of the relationship. You see, accountability is very important, and as 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 a person going into a relationship, we have to put forward we have to put forward our ideas of what we want out of this relationship. A lot of times people get into relationships based on love, okay, based on love, and that's it. Love is not the only thing that can push a relationship, that can maintain a relationship. There has to be other elements in the relationship other than love to contribute to the success of that relationship. So let's look at some of the other things that should actually be in a relationship. One, the number one thing, communication. But what does communication mean? Does it mean just regular talking? Does it mean just, hey, baby, how you doing? And just kicking it and talking all the time? No. Communication means communicating your inner feelings to the person you're with. When you communicate your inner feelings to the person you're with, the person has to receive. So you have to explain your emotions. You have to explain your feelings in a way that the spouse, the person you're with, can actually understand your feelings. Explaining feelings to people is a hard thing to do because the way that our minds are hardwired, we often don't interpret a person's feelings as they tell us. And sometimes we don't choose the right words when we expressing ourselves. That's another thing. When you're expressing your feelings, you have to be honestly, you have to be gentle in a relationship when you're expressing your feelings. And keep the toxicity down, keep your volume down, and really just come out and say, listen, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to achieve in this relationship. I'm trying to achieve not only love, but I'm trying to achieve a connection. I told somebody a while ago, if you're especially for married people, if you're married and you're not in business with your husband or wife in some capacity, if you're not supporting your husband or your wife's endeavors, then that could actually put a taint in the relationship. You see, that could actually taint your relationship when you don't communicate right. Communication is not yelling and screaming, throwing insults at each other. Communication is understanding the person's feeling, being open to hearing things come out of your spouse's mouth that may be offensive to you about your character, but they're explaining it in a way that's caring. Like, I care about you enough to say, hey, your defects, your imperfections is hindering me. See? You have to be able to explain that. And then the person you're explaining it to, your spouse, has to be willing to accept that inner criticism. See? They have to be willing to accept the inner criticism. Sometimes your spouse doesn't want to accept that inner criticism that could actually help the relationship evolve. So what do you do then? You get angry? No. If you're trying to nurture your relationship, one of the main things you want to do is be cool at all times. You love this person, so be cool at all times. You can express your feelings without being angry. You can express your feelings without yelling and screaming. You can express your feelings in a way that the person can understand and receive it. Sometimes the way we deliver things, it makes the person we're delivering it to offensive. You know, they get on the defense. Like, hold up, why are you coming at me like that? I'm just really trying to explain myself. This is your stance. You're really trying to explain yourself. You're really trying to explain how you feel. And let me tell you something about explaining your feelings and emotions. That's something that's complex. Because we're hardwired and programmed in this society that when we express ourselves, they look at it as sensitive. Many people view expressing your feelings, your inner feelings, as sensitive. Well, guess what? We all have a level of sensitivity to ourselves. Nobody wants to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to be in a courtship. Nobody wants to be in any kind of bond or bind or friendship with anyone that they really can't communicate with. So communication is a very, very important factor. But how you communicate is even a greater factor inside a relationship, because you can't communicate in high states of emotionalities. Okay? Now, when we trying to manifest love work, the inner love that you possess within yourself, that inner love you possess within yourself is very important. That's the most important thing. I often tell my clients, you got to love yourself uncontrollably. You have to. It's important that you love yourself uncontrollably. Because if you want somebody else to love you, you have to give them a measuring stick on how much love you really need. So if you love yourself up here, then you give that measuring stick to your spouse and say, hey, I love me like this. Now, if you want to share in my love for myself, then you got to love me like that too. You see? And this is what makes strong relationships great. You see? When your spouse understands you enough to know that, hey, man, she loves herself or he loves himself like this. So in order for me to compete with that self-love, I got to love that person like that. See, the mistake a lot of people make is they feel like, well, I can't love this person like this, so I'll find me somebody I can love like that, you know? And it doesn't complement the love of the person. See? Now let me look at this question. I can get it on. Let's see. Go to the live. Erica Marie. All right. You says, she asked a question. She says, I have a question that's off topic. Do glamour magic spells really exist to become more attractive? Yes. Let me tell you something about glamour spells. A glamour spell is more than just a ritual. It is an actual activity. You see? Now, sometimes I have clients come to me and they want to get love work done. I want to get some love work done on my ex, or I want them to come back. I want this person to come back. I want that person to come back. Okay. Now, the first question I ask, when was the last time you showed yourself some self-love? And they'd be like, well, what do you mean, Madison, man? When was the last time you've been to Brazilian wax? When was the last time you got your hair done? When was the last time you got your nails done? When was the last time you treat yourself out? When was the last time you showed yourself love? And they'd be like, man, honest with you, I haven't done that in a long time. But you're willing to come to a root worker and ask them to get somebody to love you at a high magnitude when you haven't done anything for yourself to show yourself that kind of love. If you don't show yourself that kind of love, it's impossible for that love to reciprocate from outside of you. See, this is what I'm saying. You have to love yourself at a high degree when you come to a root worker for root work. You have to. Because by you loving yourself at a high degree, it allows the root worker to conjure somebody to you that loves you the same that you love yourself. See, a lot of root workers doing love work for people that don't love themselves enough to have somebody else love them. And that's the truth. If you don't love yourself enough at a high magnitude, it's impossible for somebody to love you. So when you really want somebody to really love you, you have to exert that love from within yourself and not only keep it internal, you have to project your self-love out by doing great things for yourself. Go get your Brazilian wax. Go treat yourself out. Go do things for yourself and with yourself that would make you feel, smell, and look better. You see? So when we talk about glamour magic, of course, if you want to do some glamour magic on yourself, go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. Go get your eyebrow arch. Go get all of these things done for yourself so you can feel good. So you can love you. So you can do the self-reflection work. Self-reflection work and love work. Here's what it is. One of the techniques that I give people for self-reflection work. It's a very basic technique, but it's very instrumental in helping you reflect on yourself. Get a mirror. Get yourself a mirror. About this size here, or stand in your bathroom mirror. It's all good, however you do it. But you get yourself a mirror. You get yourself a white candle and set it right in front of that mirror. And you stare through the fire into the mirror. And you tell yourself, this is where accountability is very important. You have to know your faults. You have to be honest about your faults. You have to be honest with yourself if you're insecure. You have to be honest with yourself if you're cheating. You have to be honest with yourself if you don't love you. And you have to find and create ways to love you even more. Most of the times we don't love ourselves is based on the fact that we've experienced some kind of trauma in our life that hinders us from loving ourselves in a capacity that's progressive for us. You see? So when you're going to get love work and you ain't loving you, nobody else is going to be willing to love you. No spirit is going to move somebody to love you knowing that you don't love yourself. That goes against universal laws. You have to love yourself first at a very high degree in order to have root work done to have somebody else love you at a very high degree. You are the measuring stick of love for anybody that comes into your life attempting to love you. You are the measuring stick. If you show yourself very little love, you're going to attract somebody into your life that's going to show you very little love. If you show yourself high levels of love, you're going to attract people in your life that's going to show you high levels of love. You're only going to get out of the universe what you put in. So if you're putting in insecurities, you're going to attract an insecure person. If you're putting out drama in your own life, you're going to attract drama to yourself. If you're putting out hate, if you're putting out confusion, if you're putting out disparities from yourself into the universe, you're going to attract that same energy, the same person that you are calling from within yourself. Most of us get in bad relationships, but externally, because we're in a bad relationship within ourselves. You don't love you enough to love nobody else. You don't love you enough to allow somebody to love you at a high degree. Because what happens is, if you love yourself like this, and you meet a man or a woman that loves you like that, you're not going to understand this love. Because you've been dwelling here for the last 10, 15, 20 years, loving yourself on this lower level, that when somebody do come into your life to love you like this, you think it's crazy. You ain't understanding what's going on. Why he love me like this? Why he love me like this? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? What's wrong with him? Man, he all up under me every day. Or she all up under me every day. Because he, motherfucker, love you in ways that you don't even understand. But you think the person stalking you. You think the person all over you. Oh, that person too much. They smothering me. They're smothering you with love. They're smothering you with caring. They're smothering you with compassion. See? I want to hang out with my friends, though. Well, you should have been in a relationship with your friends. You got in a relationship with somebody to love you. So don't run off with your friends while this person is trying to love you. Because your friends don't love you at that high degree. Like this person is loving you at the high degree. Friends love your ass on the limit. All right? Real talk. So stop letting your friends come into your relationship. Don't turn your back on your spouse for your friends. Especially when your spouse is loving you hard. Don't dodge it just because you don't understand it. Learn to understand high levels of love, even if you love yourself on a lower level. Because at some point, you're going to have to learn to elevate your self-love at a high capacity to where you can open up your path to allow somebody to love you like that. But if you ain't loving yourself right, nobody else going to love you right. And that's weird. Let me answer this question. I see some comments and questions. Yeah, Erica Marie, I'm here. You can email me definitely at medicinemale21@gmail. I hold personal classes, one-on-one sessions. That's what I'm doing now. I'm dealing with everybody on a one-on-one basis. I might come out with a class pretty soon. I'm working on releasing my new book in about 30 days. Rootcraft, magic, sorcery, and rootcraft. That's the name of my new book, Magic, Sorcery, and Rootcraft. And it's a definite manual. My first book, Working in Roots, was like an introduction. But this book here is the manual of magic. So what I did is I took the time to write out a lot of principles and concepts for up and coming and aspiring root workers so that they can read this book and learn how to do things like readings, understand the dynamics of a reading, understand the dynamics of building spells, understanding the dynamics of why or what kind of spells should you work in particular situations. Sometimes people work spells for binding when they really should be working spells for bonding. How you going to bind somebody you haven't bonded with yet? See, those are the type of the questions and answers and demonstrations that I wrote in my new book. I wrote it from a root worker perspective. Like, if you're learning to become a root worker, then these are some of the principles that you can use to advance your root craft. You know what I mean? So that book will be out in about 30 days. So it's awesome, man. I read it. It's awesome. Because I wrote it from a perspective of what would I want to learn if I didn't know anything about root working, magic, sorcery. What would I want to learn? What are the principles? What are the techniques? What are the concepts that I need as a root worker to establish my own personal, interpersonal, spiritual system? And that's what my new book is about. So yeah, Erica Marie, I can have classes anytime. Just call me and we can work one-on-one on a one-on-one sessions, and we can get you exactly what you need to go at. I teach people how to read, and I teach people the fundamentals of the elements, and also the fundamentals of offerings, working with your ancestors, and working on the altar and working beyond the altar. Altar work is one of the things that, it helps. It helps build your connection with your ancestors. But when you're building your connection with your ancestors, there's more than altar work. An altar is just a spiritual space that creates a vortex for your ancestral energies to come through. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to explain all of that, how it works for people. But back to the love. I want to talk more about this glamour, because Erica Marie mentioned the glamour spell, man, and becoming more attractive. And part of the glamour act, what I was telling you guys earlier, part of the glamour spell is doing great things for yourself. You have to do those. Take your butt to the Brazilian spa. Get that body waxed. They got the spas out there to where you go to the spa, they got cocktails, they got wine. You might run up in the spa, they got some reefer. Ain't no telling. But it's all about relaxation and you concentrating on you. Not sitting in the spa texting them talking about, oh, when you coming, oh, when you come see me tonight. No, you have to block everything out and concentrate solely and strictly on you. Building your inner energy. Doing your self-reflection work in front of the mirror. Take the mirror, like I told you, the candle, stare through the flame of the candle. In a dark room, out the lights, stare in that mirror and be honest with yourself about your discrepancies. Be honest with yourself about your insecurities. Be honest about yourself or with your faults and your own bullshit fuckery. And as you do that, you tell yourself, I'm beyond this. I am not this. I am this. I am not this. I am this. I am not insecure. I am secure. I am not trifling. I am responsible. I am not a loser. I am a winner. See? And you have to change your habits. See? So once you do that self-reflection work and you consistently drill this information into yourself, looking into the mirror, looking into your own eyes, face your own enemy. Because most times when we attract negative people outside of us, it's because we generate that negative energy inside of us. Because we're so insecure. We're so disrespectful internally to ourselves by not developing ourselves. When you fail to develop yourself, that's a form of disrespect to yourself. If you're trying to remain the same person for 30, 40 years, that's disrespect to your own spirits. But people are more concentration more on disrespecting other spirits. You know, oh, this is disrespectful to the Orisha. This is disrespectful to the voodoo spirits. This is disrespectful to my ancestors. Well, what's disrespectful to your spirit that dwells in you? Huh? Stupidity, ignorance, being trifling, being insecure, being irresponsible, and non-accountable for your own growth. That's blatantly disrespectful to your inner spirit, which is the most important spirit that there is on this planet. Ain't no Orisha, ain't no voodoo spirit, ain't no hoodoo spirit or any other spirit more important than the spirit that dwells inside you. So if you're running around worrying about if you're disrespecting another spirit, you need to worry about, are you disrespecting the spirit that came into this world with you, that's in you? Huh? Yeah, that part. See? Don't disrespect your inner spirit. You got to love yourself at a very high magnitude in order to attract somebody who can complement that love by loving you the same. You can't love yourself like this. I said earlier, for people who love themselves like this, and you receive somebody who loves you like this, you're not going to understand it. Because you haven't elevated your own self-love to the level of here to understand what it feels like to be loved up there like that. You don't know what it is. You're not going to understand it. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit is not even programmed to understand it because you've never been there before. You've never been there before. So the whole idea is to take yourself emotionally into a place of love that's so high that if anybody attempt to love you under that level, they won't even last long. Because when they come around you, they say, oh, she love herself like that. You know? She love herself up there. So when you come around, you already know if you ain't trying to love her like that, or love him like that, like how he love himself, or how she love herself, then you might as well get out the picture. Because they'll know. They'll know immediately, damn, this person loved themselves too much for me to come around with this low 2% love that I got. So I might as well get the stepping. You see? And this is how you create that balance in your life that you really need. And this would stop people from playing with you emotionally. When you love yourself at that high degree, when they walk through the door, they see, oh, she love herself, whoa, a whole lot. And if they can't compete with that, they got to go. Period. You shouldn't stick around. You know, this is why loving yourself when you get in love work is very important. because that's the energy that's needed to manifest. Okay? Let me look at some of these comments. One comment said, where can we purchase the book? It's on Amazon. My book, Working Them Roots, is on Amazon. You definitely can find it. Working Them Roots. It's spelled WURKDEMROOTZ. Working Them Roots. It's on Amazon. You definitely can find it on Amazon. Santana Set Conjure Witch. I just practiced hoodoo about 2 months now. I'll be buying your book. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate everybody that bought my book, and those that are planning to buy my book. Thank you very much. Thank you, Erica. I can't pronounce your name. On Aries Queen B. Yeah, call me. 540-321-2849 is my number. Call me. Y'all already see I'm up. Hit me up when I get off the video, please. You can call me. I'm totally available right now, and we can discuss some of your plans for classes or sessions or whatever. We definitely can do that. All right, Santana. Satana Set Conjure Witch. Woo-wee. I love that name, yo. Hey, listen. Question. I put ancestral altar in my room. I've been giving offerings when I can and try to commune with my ancestors when I can. I gave an offering of chicken to my ancestors and said to them the aspects of my... You didn't finish the statement, though. All offerings, known and unknown ancestors. My mother and father, take my offerings. Let feed your spirits. I saw blue orbs moving. Oh yeah, the blue orbs. The orbs will move around. That's light energy, and it's a reflection of spiritual essences moving around and things like that. The altar is a wonderful place. It's a wonderful place, and there's different levels of altars. Like for people who don't have the space, and this is a big topic right here with altars. People who don't have the space in their homes, or they may be living with someone where they feel like it's not appropriate to have an altar in that house. What do you do? There's a lot of people out here that is totally clueless on what to do when you can't have a spiritual altar inside your home. All right? Now, here's what we do. Here's what I teach. Do you have a wooded area somewhere around you? Do you? If you do, then you can actually implant your spiritual altar in a wooded area out there. Now, when you do that, there's certain things you're going to do, and call me and get with me, email me, and we can discuss it. But you can put your altar out into the wilderness. And you go out into the wilderness and you work your altar at the foot of a tree. Find a tree, and I explain to people how to consecrate the tree, and I also explain to people what is a tree, how to recognize the male versus the female trees, and how to use the energies of the trees. Trees are vortexes of energies. They're connected in the earth, and they reach out into the sky. They absorb the air element, transform it into oxygen, and release that oxygen. So that we can breathe. So, it's a holistic approach to how the universe works. And we take the altar, the essence, the power of the tree. We put our altar there, we consecrate the tree, and your altar can actually sit outside. It won't be in the same essence. It doesn't look like an altar on a table, but it's a spiritual altar grounded into the earth. So that would actually definitely help, because most of the ancient paradigms, most of the altars were actually outside of the house. It's mostly a newer paradigm to have altars in our homes. That's new. That's something that we kind of adjusted and adapted to, but it's not 100% necessary that your spiritual altar or your ancestral altar or your ancestral space could be kept in your house. It could be kept outside also, yes. And also another technique for housing the elements of your altar. You can have a necklace made, like a necklace made, and on that necklace you can have the essence of your ancestral altar, like elements made into something, into something. It could be in a sack. It could be in an animal bone, like for example, a deer bone, a deer husk, deer antler. What we actually do, we carve out the inside of the deer antler, probably about that long right there. We carve about that thick, a nice thick piece. We carve out the inside of the deer antler, and what we would actually do is input the essence of all of your ancestors in there. Seal it, consecrate it, do what we do, and we present it to you for you to wear around your neck. So you would actually carry your ancestral altar with you around your neck, which would be a better improvision, a better improvision for those who don't have the space to house an altar in their home due to security issues and things like that. So yeah, we definitely there's all kind of ways. Okay, hold on. I got another question. More Mass 13. Yeah, the question about the classes, email me at medicine mail, and the mail is MAIL, like a mailman, medicinemale21 at gmail.com. Feel free to call me 540-321-2849, and we can arrange a session. And what I do for my classes, I'm doing one-on-one sessions with everybody because everybody elevates on their own. Everybody elevates at their own pace. And I've learned that having collective classes, some people grasp everything and others don't grasp it because everybody's not on the same level. So what I do when I hold my sessions now and do my classes, I do private classes. So you get your 2 hours a week sessions with me, and we go through everything you need to know to develop your path directly. And I think that that's more progressive for people that really need the training for their own life. And so I do that so I can focus on one person at a time, and we can get that person developed to where they need to be. I go to the next person, get that person developed to where they need to be, go to the next person without intertwining everybody's development. See? So this is why I do one-on-one sessions, and I kind of separate the sessions. We do 2 hour sessions a week. So we're going to do 2 hours this week, 2 hours that week, in between text groups, chat groups, and all this other stuff. Have Swamp Water Roots, Root Bone and Conjure group that I'm going to be very, very vocal in. And we're going to get back to that and build everything up, and create this huge platform for everybody to learn. But I'm not concerned with the platform. I am concerned with the individual training, the individual learning for each person on their own level of development. Okay? That's what I'm about. So back to the topic of love. I hope everybody understands the essence when I talk about doing that love work. Because like I say, there are a lot of people seeking love work running around insecure about themselves or not loving themselves in the right way. That hinders the work. So I want everybody to know, when you're getting that love work done, or you want love work done, or you're even doing love work or for someone else, always make sure to question that person, to read that person, to intuitively feel how much that person loved themselves, because that would be the ultimate measuring stick on if you really need to do this work for this person to bring somebody back to them, or you need to do work for this person to allow them to love themselves even more so that you can do love work for them. Okay? Now, Satanas says, what advice can you give me on ancestral building relationships, the do's and don'ts? I don't really understand the question. What advice can I give on ancestral building relationships? Are you talking about ancestors in your relationship, or conjuring ancestors to help your relationships, I'm not really clear on that. So clear that up for me one time. You said you heard a chirping sound. Satana said you heard a chirping sound and felt heat over your body while the flames were moving tall and crazy. What does that mean? Well, it depends. How close were you to the flame? You have to remember we have a level of vibration with our body. And when you're doing ritual work, what you're doing is you're conjuring up energies. You're conjuring up your inner energy, your inner life force. So as you conjure it up, it's actually projecting itself around you. Your aura, your spirit. People think your spirit is inside you. Well, actually, your spirit goes as far as your arms can reach. All of this, as far as your arm can reach, is where your spirit dwells. All around you in a huge bubble. See? All around you in this huge bubble. Here, all the way around. This huge bubble, all the way to your feet. This huge bubble is exactly your spiritual space. This is why when you meet people, have you ever walked past somebody or stood next to somebody and you have to step to the side like, man, I ain't even paying this person no attention, but my spirit is, and my spirit don't feel funny, so let me stand over here. You know, it just don't feel right. You might not even know this person. Person might have a big smile on their face, but because you step close enough to them for your spiritual bubble, your spiritual energy, to feel that person, you have to step to the side. Like, wow, that dude there or that girl, they got some bad energy on her. You can feel it immediately, especially for people who are intuitively psychic. You feel that energy, like you feel it. You know, part of building our own spiritual work that's important for us is understanding where the spirit lives. Spirit don't live exactly in us, it lives in and outside of us like this. This is why people, we all got this thing, but hey, don't invade my personal space. You come too close, I'm feeling uncomfortable. You come up on me, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Not because I don't like you, or not because I don't know you, but because your energy field is close to my energy field, and I'm feeling your emotions. I'm feeling your pain. I'm feeling your trauma. I'm feeling your depression. So I need to go stand over there because you got too much going on. I need to go stand over there. You see, so this is why they say birds of feather flock together and things like that, because people who carry the same energies, they tend to blend in better with their auras. You know, if two people have the same type of characteristics, personalities, and they carry the same things about themselves and live the same way, then their auras will complement. You see? But if they don't, the auras are, hey, oh, it feels funny, and they're going to separate themselves from it. This is a good question. Are you able to connect with cremated ancestors the same as others? The human body is just a shell. That's all it is. So if you bury a person or you cremate the person, their spirit is still a spirit, because the spirit lives like in the body and through the body. So whatever happens to the body doesn't even matter. It doesn't say, okay, you have to deal with your ancestors differently because they were cremated, or you have to deal with your ancestors differently or approach them differently because they were buried. Nah, doesn't exist, because the human body is the human body. Once a person's spirit has left their body, wherever the body goes through, that's just the body. It doesn't affect the spirit at all. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome, Queen B. Right. So to recap it all up, when we get that love work done, what do we have to do when we're doing love work for people? Now, here's another one for all your witches out there. When you're doing love work for people, what do you ask? What do you ask? You have to ask people, when was the last time you done something great for yourself? See? And before you begin that love work, you make sure that person starts to love themselves. And you work with them to develop self-love. You work with them on the self-reflection techniques so that they can remove their discrepancies from their character, from their personality, from their life. Once they remove those things, the path actually comes open for them to attract somebody to them, to love them like how they're loving themselves. See? That's how it works. All right, let me look at this next question. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Alrighty. All right, so as a spiritualist, remember when you're doing work for people, do the readings. Do the readings. Do the soul searching, the intuitive, medium, mystic, whatever power you have, use it to determine if the person loves themselves enough to have the work done. Trust me, it saves a lot of pain. Because a lot of people are insecure, looking to cover and mask their insecurity with somebody externally loving them. And you cannot mask your insecurities by seeking somebody to love you externally. External love will not mask your insecurities. It won't. Only thing that can get rid of, and my favorite word for the week, exfoliate. The only thing that can exfoliate the, that love is loving yourself and having somebody love you equally. You see, you can't go out here and ask for somebody to love you deeply when you only love yourself on the surface. It won't work. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of relationships don't work. Because people don't really actually love themselves enough to be in a relationship or even require or ask or demand somebody to love them more than they love themselves. Nobody's going to love you more than you love yourself. Are you crazy? I'm just being serious, man. I'm just being raw with it. Are you crazy? Nobody's going to love you more than you love yourself. And nobody's going to love you at 1,000% and you only love yourself 10. It won't happen. The universe won't allow that to happen. And let me tell you something. Even if you escape that and you get out there and you find somebody to love you up here, but if you love yourself down there, you want this person to bring their love down to where you at to match your self-love? Or do you want to elevate your love up there in the highest part to reach and meet that person up there and allow them to love you at a high level because you now love yourself at the high level? This up here is where the ritual work manifests. It's where the love work manifests. Up here, by elevating your self-love, which causes the person that you're doing the work on to love you up there also. But you have to do the physical things that require that. And like we talked about earlier, communication, the understanding, the bonding, handling responsibilities together, and the togetherness. Don't put people in between you and the person you love. Don't try to use other people to challenge this person to love you. Don't do that. I see a lot of people be like, explore your options. Let your boyfriend or your girlfriend know that you have other options and they're going to love you better. Huh? When you have other options. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at the other option concept. The other option concept is based on, okay, I'm going to create a ruckus where I'm going to let my girlfriend know that I have other options. Perhaps if I let her know I have other options, then she's going to get right and she's going to love me. Huh? The reason you're seeking other options because you haven't seeked the option within yourself. You see? That's the reason you're out there seeking other options. You're seeking other options to get this guy or this girl here to love you more than you love yourself. So all you're doing is running yourself around this huge circus, sleeping with all these people, entertaining all these people spiritually, entertaining all your options for what? Huh? To persuade somebody to love you more than you love yourself? To run around and keep yourself busy with options instead of loving yourself and elevating your self-love? You have to look at it. All right, hold on. Let's see what Satana says. She says, how can I correlate a relationship with my ancestors? Hold up. How can I have a relationship with my ancestors so can I perfect myself from ancestors that mean me ill will? Also been upon a relationship with my benevolent ancestors. They all care and don't mean me ill will. I mean, when you're working with your ancestors, you have to realize they're in you first. The benevolent ones and the unbenevolent ones. All of them is in you. Okay? The balance comes in when we understand the purpose of the benevolent ancestors in our life, and when we understand the purpose of the unbenevolent ancestors in our life. See what I'm saying? We understand the purpose. Sometimes we need the unbenevolent ancestors to come through to handle issues in our life that are more challenging than we would normally have. So if you're running into issues, spiritual issues, and spiritual battles and conflicts in life, those unbenevolent ancestors are going to come through. People think, and I don't like to get people on the mind state, I don't like to get people into the mind state of thinking that these unbenevolent ancestors or these wayward ancestors that people often talk about are here to harm you. They're actually not. Just because, and there's different levels of ancestors. Trust me. There's familial ancestors and then there's lineage ancestors. There's a difference in the two. Your familial ancestors are those relatives that are deceased, that you know about, that come from your immediate family and things like that, probably from over 100 years, 200 years. You know, people that you actually know and live with in life, or your moms, your dad, your grandparents live with in life. The familial. You have lineage ancestors, which are the ancestors of your bloodline. These are the ancestors that come through your bloodlines from ancient times. See? So you have to know the difference between the two. In traditions, they call those bloodline ancestors the Eguns. See, your Eguns are your bloodline ancestors, but your familial ancestors are your bloodline ancestors also, but they're the most common familial ones, the ones you're familiar with. Okay? All right. See, Satana say, I love Lilith. She my matron goddess. You can get the book called The Magic of Lilith. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right, that's for Erica. My bad. I ain't mean to get in y'all business. But yeah, that's what we about. So if anybody want to contact me, feel free. I'm about to get off the video in a minute. I've been on it for like 48. And what we going to do is call me. Sun coming up, sunrise. You see what I'm saying? I'm out there catching the sunrise service. So as the sunrise, there's also rituals you could do at the sunrise. There's rituals you could do. There's 3 vortexes. I'm going to share this with y'all before I go. There's 3 vortexes in the sky. Okay, 3. There's more than 3, but 3 of the primary ones. Sunset. Sunrise. What's the 3rd one? Somebody tell me the 3rd one. Somebody please tell me the 3rd one. We have the sunset and we have the sunrise. Those are 2 of the main vortexes, but there's one more. Somebody help me out on that. I'm waiting on y'all now. I'm going to be quiet. I'm shutting up until somebody answers. Let me go sip my tea. I'll repeat the question for y'all. Who that talk about high noon? What's your name, yo? That's 78? 78. You all right with me, 78? High noon. 78, you all right with me? High noon is the answer. High noon is the answer. When the sun is at a zenith, directly over our head, directly over the earth, is a vortex. This is why doctors, and you know what? Y'all need to read that book by Raoul Nefer Amen, the Metunera. He actually speaks about this in his book. I think it's volume 1. He actually speaks about it. And he says that even from a clinical perspective, dealing with our metabolism in our body, it's understood scientifically that our body's metabolism is at its highest peak at 12 o'clock when the sun is directly over the earth. At 12 o'clock noon, our body metabolism is at its highest peak, which means that it is the best time for us to consume our biggest meal. Why? Because our digestive system is fully alert at 12 o'clock. Now, after 12, when you get to, well, from 12 to about 1:30-ish, 2. But after 2, 3, 4, 5, your metabolism starts to slowly go down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So now, when you're eating foods, as your metabolism going down, when you're eating heavy meals at 8, 9 o'clock, what happens is you force your metabolism to go against its natural order. The natural order of your body's metabolism is that at 12 o'clock noon, everything is at its optimal peak. So you should eat your biggest meal at 12 o'clock noon because your body is fully capable and energetically ready to digest anything you put inside of it, I swear. But not anything, but your foods you eat. It'll digest it greatly. But when you wait till 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night to eat, your metabolism naturally is at its lowest peak. So when you eat food at that time, you force your body to go against the natural order, which knocks it off of its cycle. Now, if you continuously knock your body off of its cycle, you cause your body to rearrange and rethink how it operates, which causes diseases. Okay? One of the things that causes diseases. So you never really want to force your body outside of its natural cycle. And this is why a lot of people get sick. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you guys. But that is the third vortex, the zenith. Now, the zenith works with solar energy. You see? The sun rise. I don't think y'all can see the moon. Let me see if y'all can see the moon up. Oh, yep, there go the moon. There goes the moon right there. See the moon right there? Sunrise. This is sunrise and the moon is nice and bright up there, looking good and full. And this is sunrise, you know? So at sunrise, you actually have the moon right here. We got a full moon. You have that moon, but you're still going to have the sun rising back behind us that way. So the sun, at sunrise, the sun and the moon is fully exposed. You see, when you at sunrise, you look in the sky, you see the full moon, and then you look over to the east, you see the sun coming up at the same time. But the sky is in a stage. The sky is actually in a stage where you can see both of the elements, the sun and the moon. The masculine and the feminine principle exists at the same time, in the same space, in the same realm and vortex during sunrise. See? So you can work with both energies during the sunrise. That's why they say the most powerful rituals can be done at the sunrise and at the sunset, because both of the solar forces are in the skies manifesting their powers at the same time. See? Now when the sun is fully exposed in the sky, the moon vanishes. Well, it appears to vanish. See? and the sun takes over for all the day, and then the moon takes over for all the night. But at sunrise and sunset, both of the elements are there together. That's why you do your rituals and your powerful spells, your powerful transformational work. To balance yourself, you do it at sunrise because you got the balancing energies in the universe. Out in the sky, the vortexes are open. So you pull on the moon energy, and then you turn around and pull on the sun energy. And you use it, conjure it into your body, suppress it, mash it into your spirit, mash the energy of the moon into your organs, mash the energy of the sun into your organs, and then concentrate it, lift it up, bring it down, and rotate that energy around you during this time because it fully invigorates you. Okay? So I wanted to share that about the three vortexes of the sky: sunset, sunrise, and when the sun is at a zenith. Those are the times to do your best spiritual work, the most powerful stuff. Now the zenith, let me get to the zenith real quick. The zenith, like I say, is strictly solar power. In my perspective, I think most men, because everybody's on the moon. Y'all forgive me. I'm drinking water down Mountain Dew. No lie. And the zenith works with solar energy. Because the sun is at its highest peak directly over the earth. And that's 12 noon is when it's going to be the hottest. Meaning that the radiation from the sun beams the strongest at around 12 noon. Okay? Most men have been programmed and hardwired to work the moon energy with the woman. Hey, it is what it is. People are programmed and hardwired to all work the moon energy with the woman. So everybody working the moon. The woman and the men. Everybody, boy, we gonna do the full moon. We gonna do the full moon. We be doing the full moon. Bruh, what you gonna do in the zenith? That is the time that men should do their spiritual work. Because we are solar beings and the women are lunar beings. See? But if the men are attracting the woman's energy using her dark force, then we can't balance things out magically, especially in our relationships. Can't balance it out magically with the man and the woman working the moon. Can't balance it out. That's why a lot of us has problems in our magical relationships. Because we all work the moon. And in all actuality, men shouldn't be working the moon as much as women. At all. Men should concentrate more on the sun's solar energy, especially when the sun is at a zenith, because that's the time that as a man, we should tap into our solar power. You see? Peace. It's Medicine Man. Y'all be good. Anybody have any questions for me about classes or anything? Email me at medicinemail21@gmail. If you want to speak to me about private sessions, feel free to email me or call me at 540-321-2849, and we can discuss the possibilities of you learning and studying with us at Swamp Water Roots. And like I said, I'm providing private one-on-one classes. Ain't no two people going to come together. Everybody's going to get what they need to help them develop their own personal path. And peace. It's Medicine Man. Y'all be blessed. Carry on. Be great. Manifest your greatness. Manifest your magic. Peace.